my friends. Today is indeed a good day. I can love you and be your friend, even if we think differently, believe differently, act differently, look different, or come from different places in life. You are welcome here. With that in mind, let's get our day started together. It is a wonderful Friday. I want to apologize for yesterday if anyone tried to join me. I had some problems with my audio, so I've actually taken some proactive steps and added some checks to my pre-flight checks before I stream, and hopefully we won't have that same kind of a problem in the future. We'll just have new kinds of problems, right? Well, this morning we are looking at, and we're going to be talking about the core precept of accountability. So when I say a core precept or a core value, I'm talking about things that I'm finding that are worth slowing down each morning to consider, to look at and self-examine, to decide whether I believe that these are worthy and valuable, or whether they're just foolish, right? And then asking myself honestly, if I say that I believe this, am I trying to live this way? Do my thoughts and my words and my actions reflect that what I say I believe? So this morning, the precept is accountability. Now, I thought it was pretty humorous. All of the precepts have been set up way in advance, the order. But it is interesting to me that when they come to light in my life, there is definitely something each time that I learn from them. So even if no one but me gains anything from me taking this time to slow down and consider these things, I know that they are benefiting me. So let's jump right into accountability. Accountability is not hiding from responsibility, but it's standing up as a champion. It isn't blaming others or making excuses, but taking ownership. It's examining our own choices and actions to recognize and take steps to improve the chances of success. Now, if my stream yesterday, where I tried to talk about accountability, if I had said, oh, well, that was because if I blamed it all on my technology, and I didn't take steps to improve my chances of success, I would have not held myself accountable. I would have used that as an excuse why it didn't go the way that I wanted it to. I would have grumbled about that instead of moving forward, taking ownership, seeing what choices and actions I had made could be adjusted and corrected to improve the chances of success. That is a perfect example of what we're talking about with accountability. Now, I don't always get that right. That just happened to be a great test for me after having recorded this yesterday to see if I actually believed it and if I actually lived it. Now, in the business world, it is very true that some organizations profit from taking money with no real intent to follow through on what the salesperson promised. There are criminals not yet incarcerated that will gladly take your money and run all throughout the business world. There is a business world of fraud and lack of accountability. This is very true. So accountability is very valuable in business. It means that individuals and businesses are evaluated, not arbitrarily, but on their behaviors and the outcomes that they're responsible for. It's important to define those expected outcomes or behaviors that are needed. It's important to communicate clearly both the expectations and commitments or responsibilities. It's important to decide the consequences when those expectations are not met. And most importantly, we must follow through and take actions to reinforce the consequences and the expectations. Doing this in the business world is not being a bully. It is setting appropriate processes, controls, and expectations. If I have a business that I'm paying to do XYZ, and they seem to refuse to do XYZ, but they're still happy to send me their invoice every week, it's not a good choice on my part to just let them continue behaving in this manner. That's bad management. That's not holding accountability. But also, in that setting of expectations and in that holding them accountable to what we expect from them, I also want to look at, just like in the previous slide, what can I do? When someone is failing to meet expectations and I want them to improve their performance. If you're talking about an employee and you're a manager, you may put an employee on a performance improvement plan. But you, as their supervisor and manager, should also be asking yourself, what can I do to improve their chance and opportunity for success? Not just how do I stack up receipts so that I can bury them and get rid of them, right? Same thing with our vendors. If they are failing to meet, to some extent, you're going to want to also look at your own behavior on your side of the equation. We also need to make sure that they're owning their side of the equation, but it needs to be both sides are making those efforts. Now, in life, there's a saying that a child that is loved by their parents receives discipline, right? A child that their parents care about more than just not being bothered by the child, and not being bothered by the child's reactions and emotions and tantrums and all of that, is willing to discipline the child. But a child that isn't loved by their parents. They just get their own way. They're spoiled, they're rotten, they throw tantrums, they act like a toddler, and they're a terror to everyone around them. Now, we say a child, but I'm going to say this. There are plenty of grown adults who are toddlers in this way, who did not receive discipline, who did not encounter accountability in their lives, right? And that who are a terror to everyone around them. We don't want to be that. We don't want to avoid that discipline that polishes us up into a good member of society. We even want to discipline ourselves, even though discipline, when it is happening, is uncomfortable, right? No one just naturally loves to be disciplined, but it is valuable and does have a purpose. In fact, if we look at the statistics of those who are incarcerated, those who are in our jails and our prisons, an undeniable statistic is those who did not have accountability and discipline in their homes. If a child grows up only with the example of blaming others, making excuses, not following through on discipline and accountability, that has an alarmingly high risk of producing the behaviors and outcomes that aren't good for those individuals, for organizations, or for society. If you speak with, like I've been in the jails, and I've been with the criminals and lived in that criminal mindset in my life. And there is a lack of accountability because it's all about blaming someone else. It's all about victim mentality. It's all about justifying my actions based on the actions of others. Oh, I can do this because they, I can steal from this company because they're a corporation and they've got insurance and they can afford to. No, you can't. It is not right to do that. You need to hold yourself accountable, stop blaming others and making excuses, and discipline yourself. Right? There is something that happens in a lack of discipline over time that builds up as a snowball and will lead you into a place that you don't want to go. So whether we are holding ourselves accountable, whether we are being good parents and disciplining and holding our children accountable, whether we are in the workplace and we are, I will say this. Again, accountability is not about being a bully. Accountability is about not allowing excuses and blame to rule the day, but to encourage everyone involved to take personal ownership of what they can each do to improve the chance of success. Right? That is good. That is valuable. That is valuable in the business world. That is valuable in our personal lives. But that is the perspective of accountability. So today, I want to chew on that. I want to live out my life. I want to see more and more of us being those champions in those areas. Doesn't mean you have to be perfect. In fact, accountability is about being willing to admit that we are not perfect, that we do make mistakes. It's not about the mistakes in the past. It's about the future and what we will do when those mistakes happen. Well, hope you have a wonderful Friday, and hope we get to talk again soon. If anyone wants to go deeper into any of these subjects, reach out to me. These are I've done that with several folks, and it's very valuable. I get to learn a lot. I can probably learn a lot more from you guys than I can learn just sitting by myself and looking at these. So I see great value in what you have to bring to the table, and I want to listen. Y'all take care and have a great day.